your life a lot. Next time you come to town, I want y'all to link up. I want to introduce you to him. And after the first time I met Adrian, something happened that had never happened to me in my life. Now, I've met a lot of special individuals. I've met a lot of charismatic leaders. But that's the first time in my life that I could walk away from a conversation with someone that said, this guy could be the president of the United States. Really? So since then, we talked, and I've had the opportunity to speak with him on many occasions and engage in the conversation. And in many instances, learn from him. And what amazes me the most about Adrian is not the fact that he's a graduate of Western, or not the fact that he was president of his class, or not that he was the track star. The most amazing thing to me about Adrian Perkins is his desire to make the world a better place. And even greater than that is his desire to be prepared for situations and for life challenges, and prepared for those things that he has to do to help make the world a better place. We talked often while he was in Afghanistan. And I just remember thinking, something I never thought about before. I remember thinking, I'm so glad that he's on the job. I'm so glad that he's there, leading men and defending our country. I remember about a month ago, he sent me a picture, and he was in Ferguson. And when I talked to him, I said, what made you go? He said, the people there are hurting. And I just want them to know that they're not alone. One of the greatest things I think that he's done as former student at Arthur Circle and Uri Drive and Capitol Street and West Point is that in doing what he's done, and doing it so greatly, he's helped to raise the aspirations of our children. I think that is one of the greatest undertakings that any leader can have. He lets them know that, his presence lets them know that you can one day shake hands with presidents. And if you work hard enough and if you're prepared, then one day you can be president. So, on behalf of everyone who's ever attended Capitol Tree, taught at Capitol Tree, coached at Capitol Tree, counseled at Capitol Tree, and loves Capitol Tree. On behalf of all of us, I want to thank Adrian for allowing Capitol Tree to ride along with him as he makes his mark on the world. Because every time that he's introduced, even on the world's big stages, they'll say, a 2003 graduate of Capitol Tree High School in Shreveport, Louisiana. There's no doubt in my mind that one day, at 6115 East Kings Highway, one day there'll be a mark in front of our school that will tell future generations of the contributions of Adrian Perkins to our community, to our city, to our state, and to our country, but also to the world. So ladies and gentlemen, loved ones, friends, please stand and join me in welcoming Captain Adrian to the Captain Shreve H.S.
Got the right guy. I said the same thing when Dr. McCall told me I'd be receiving this award. The second thought was, am I even old enough to get this award? But as soon as it settled in that I was going to be one of the youngest members of Captain Shreve High School to receive the Circle of Honor Award, I knew my message would be one of thanks. So tonight, I need everyone to join me in a round of applause for the people that have contributed to my life and are the real reason that I'm here today. I'd like to thank the Circle of Honor administration for giving me this award and nominating me. Despite all my past accomplishments, despite everything Shantae just covered, this means the most to me because it's coming from home. And more importantly, it's coming from the swamp. Speaking of home, it's special to share this moment with family and friends. I don't often get to look over a crowd and see my mom sitting there. Mentors of mine, all past administrators, past teachers. So it's very special to me. Gator faculty, administrators, and anyone that belongs to the Captain Shreve High School organization. Even if you weren't at Shreve when I was there, know that you belong to a very, very strong lineage that grooms greatness. Whether you're handing out drinks at football games, staying late to help a student get a concept that he couldn't quite grasp in class, or taking a jock out of his comfort zone, putting him in student council, and showing him that leadership transcends sports. That's for you, Ms. Gowden. Continue to maintain that standard in education and leadership. It's something that students that see you bird will never know. I've been blessed with some outstanding mentors along the way, and I'm honored to have Councilman Oliver Jenkins here tonight. Not only come to share tonight with me, but also pick up phone calls, punctually return emails, or he can, join me in a hasty lunch date when I'm in town. So I appreciate you, Councilman. Thanks for coming out. And your beautiful wife as well. Thank you. To other Gators in the crowd, several of my 03 classmates are here. Patrick, Crawford, his lovely date, Mitch beside his wife, Whitney. Please don't embarrass me tonight. And I say that for a reason. I had a track meet at LSU when I was at West Point, and these guys showed up in tuxedos. I'll let them explain that one later, but yeah, they were in tuxedos. Josh Williams, my best friend since I was 10 years old. He's currently serving as the assistant district attorney for Caddo Parish. Josh and I met when we were pipsqueaks at Uri Drive. We didn't have the coolest clothes, we weren't the coolest kids, we didn't get none of the girls like us. We said, you know what, we're going to be uncool together. Fortunately, puberty helped us out a little bit. We've done all right since then. But Josh, know your ambition, your continual presence, and your support. This award that I'm receiving tonight is just as much yours as it is mine. I'm appreciative of all my friends that are here and those that couldn't make it. In particular, my best friend from West Point. He showed me how to put on a uniform in 2003, and he's continually supported me throughout my Army career. But I also want to thank him for standing in the void between America and its enemies tonight. He's commanding in Afghanistan with the soldiers. So would you please give a round of applause? soldiers over there protecting our freedoms. Last but not least, I have to thank my family. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and no relationship better reflects that than my second set of parents, Fred and Karen Ransburg. Could you guys wave to the crowd so they know who you are? I know you're thinking there's a slight pigmentation difference. Mine are a little different. I came from my real set of parents, but very much so. Quick story about one of my first encounters with Mrs. Raspberry. She caught me stealing at a book fair when I was in elementary. At a book fair of all things. Why was I a 7, 8-year-old stealing at a book fair? And what did she do? She didn't treat me harshly and judge me as a little vigilante. She took me to the office and she called my mom. She scolded me. She did just what you would think a parent would do. But what impressed me most is that when me and her son Carl became pretty much inseparable friends shortly thereafter, she opened her home to me. She fed me way too many meals. She took me to and from school, football practices, baseball practices, and has since shown me unconditional love like I'm one of her own. I always remember the values you and Mr. Rasberg instilled in me, the image of family you showed me, and the axiomatic truth you revealed to me, that family expands beyond blood. It encompasses experiences, laughs, joys, pain, sorrows, and celebrations like tonight. Thank you for sharing tonight with me, and I'd like to thank the Thomases as well, the Phelps for joining me, and the Bell family. Next, let me acknowledge my brothers Archie and Jeff. Jeff couldn't make it tonight. He's a senior leader in the Army as well, and the uniform call, so I completely understand. Archie, you'll be taking all the heat tonight. Wait, I don't want you guys to clap for him. As a matter of fact, he's staring and pushing him, tripping him on his way out. He's paying back for the torture that he put me through. Ken Thomas, you're included as well. So in all seriousness, these men, Captain Street graduates of the class of 1994, the class of 2000, are responsible for the entirety of my resume. I've spent my life chasing their accomplishments and trying to be just like them. My brother Jeff, the rebellious brainiac, always pushed me in school, and Archie, the funny, charismatic athlete. Our macho relationship has never really permitted me to say this to you guys, but I love you. I love you. You're the best friend a brother could ask for. And I'm so proud of the men that you've become and the men that you were forced to be when we were kids. Excuse me. To the men in my life that have worn the dad hat, my stepfather Clarence Jones, I've always appreciated everything he did for me and my family, and the Christian values you've instilled and continually reinforced in me. To you, Dad, regardless of the history, you fought and clawed your way back in my life, and I don't think it could have been done any better. So I'm very proud of the relationship we developed, and when you return, the way we maintain it today. Those few days in Clarksville you spent with me before Afghanistan meant the world to me. So please ignore my forgetfulness to return a phone call, the lapses in time between our conversations, and know that there's absolutely no indication whatsoever of how proud I am to carry your last name and how proud I am to be your son. Lastly, I'm really going to try not to get emotional with this one. My angel, my mother. You've shown and taught me the strength, humility, perseverance, patience, and kindness. I'm sure this is going to be a surprise for some people, but I've never heard my mother curse, ever. It was this one time when she said she was pissed off at my dad. We'll let that one pass. The military is a very bad influence on my language, so I don't even know how she does it. I really don't. I also don't know how you raised 3 boys of our caliber, primarily alumni, earned a bachelor's degree and worked 2 jobs. If God blesses me with half the traits that you have, I'll be a great man one day. Oftentimes people don't understand. Oftentimes people don't understand the impact they're having on their children, their siblings, their students, their mentees. But let me not only be a symbol for the young people, like Dr. McCullough asked me to be tonight, but hopefully I illustrate to everyone in the room the fruits of the labor, of your labor, when you give service to your community. You all have done very well. In 2003, when I graduated high school, 1 of every 2 African American males did not. In 2000, the West Point 2008 class profile sports the lowest acceptance rate in America. Together we beat some incredible odds. We've done well. However, we can't confuse my individual success as a rule rather than an exception. Our work is not done. Our work is not done. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.